April 17th will forever have some significance and meaning for me, because it's a situation where we made a contribution and where that work mattered. It's not the only one, but it's one of the most poignant ones for obvious reasons. That's important when things are more difficult or more frustrating as well.
I mean, every 17th, I try to do like my best to call the people who were there with me, or just write them a message with as many people as I can from the team.
Most of the civilian population anyways in war was in the camp. It had just been through war. You wouldn't find any people there. You could feel a lot of tension between the people who were in town, and it was mostly men, and it was, a militarized zone, and, like the people in the camp who fled after the government took over. According to different sources, there was a justification for an armed attack on the base.
Yeah, a large crowd of people banging against the perimeter gate. You could hear stones coming over after a couple of minutes, and then ultimately gunshots. And then we ran further into the camp, trying to encourage other people to go with us. So it looked like chaos at that point.
It was quite a surprise. I don't think anybody really expected such a scale of an attack on civilian population, which is basically what it was, no? I mean, we were trying to get out. We were trying to encourage people to move with us. Like at one point, it became unsafe to keep going. If you keep running, you're gonna get shot in the back. There were around 9 children and 4 women who were also just looking around, no? Like, didn't really know what to do. So we just encouraged them to go in a tent with us. Like, you could hear the gunshots, you could smell the gunpowder. People with weapons coming in, saying, like, you guys go, you guys go. And we said, like, we're not leaving. They would hit the women in front of us, and, like, women and children, humanitarians. We would repeat to see if it had an effect, no? Like at one point, one of them tried to justify what they were doing, say like, oh, you don't understand, like, all of them are killing our people. They just massacred our people. And like, man, like, they're women and children, like, none of these guys have done this.
As part of the NP approach, when the attackers would come in the tent, our willingness to engage with them in dialogue was automatic. That's how we were trying to, like, de-escalate situations, through dialogue. I think that really made the difference. After we sort of figured out, like, okay, maybe we've survived this, we definitely got into work mode. But it was a soul-crushing scene.
Yeah, that was just the beginning of it.
I was gonna say, in some ways, that was the beginning of the work, that day, and then for a considerable amount of time afterwards. In some respects, months, because it changed the parameters for a lot of the work that we were doing.
Well, we're humanitarians, no? Like, we're protection officers. Like, if we had a gun in those instances, we were like, like an armed peacekeeper, we probably would have been killed. As an armed person, like, the response to an aggression is you shoot back, you fight back. I mean, we kind of off-balance that. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna react completely differently, and we're gonna see if we can get a positive reaction out of it. And that's, like in this case, I think that's what happened. We just remained unaggressive. We stated what we were there for, like what's our purpose in this place? And I mean, it resonated to the point that, you know, the threat wasn't materialized. You know,
You can be assertive without being aggressive. And we were being confronted by people with sticks, axes, pistols, automatic rifles. We have different tools. We have different weapons, if you will. So we have resources to draw upon. And that really, really helps in a situation like that.
It was a rough day. I think it, like, in a matter of minutes and hours, you saw the best and the worst a human being is capable of, no? Like, at least to me, it's quite significant. The things have happened in South Sudan in the last few years. You see incredible gestures of humanity, but you also see representations of violence that are appalling, no? And that, like, that's the stuff of nightmares. I guess, you know, if 11 people didn't die that day, that's sort of a positive outcome to look at it. I can't believe it's been 4 years.